About 6 months ago, I made a video talking about some of the craziest ejections I've ever seen. And some of the ones we talked about were hilarious. So we thought, why not make a video about some of the funniest ones? So without further ado, let's talk about that. And we're starting off with a banger too. This one's awesome. This is Wally Backman. And one of his players was just tossed out of the game. And he's not very happy about that, so he heads out to have a conversation with the umpire, which of course results in him being kicked out too. Now, in case you don't know, there's a thing in baseball called getting your money's worth. When you're kicked out of a game, that's it. You have to completely leave the stadium. So what a lot of people will do, they'll have a light conversation with the umpire. And Wally definitely gets his money's worth here, in the most insane way I've ever seen. He calmly heads back to the dugout, goes ooga booga monkey brain mode, and starts throwing every single bat and ball they have in the dugout just onto the field. Look at the way this guy just dips out. He's like, nope, not having any of that. To me, one of the funniest things about this too is just the way he like almost calmly tells the catcher, hey catcher, get out of the way. I'm gonna throw more of these bats onto the field.
Catcher, get out of the way! Get out of the way!
And because he's mic'd up the entire time, the quote he has at the very end is just the cherry on top.
Let's go have a beer, Doc.
And just as a little bonus fact right at the end, he led this team, the South Georgia Peanuts, to the championship this same year. Now there's no way we're gonna make a video about legendary ejections without mentioning a few from Lou Piniella. For example, you've probably seen this picture before. It's one of the hardest baseball images ever captured. Sweet Lou was arguing a call at first base when he got tossed out of the game because, well, he's Lou Piniella. He gets angry. His response to this was, all right, he was out at first. First. He rips the first base out of the ground and throws it not once, but twice before he leaves. And this wasn't even the only iconic freakout he had in 1990. You may have caught it at the beginning of the first clip, but he gets really animated when he starts yelling. And in this next one, he cranks it up to 11. After getting tossed in this Expos Reds game, he heads out to, as the title of this YouTube video says, have a discussion with the umpires. Let's take a look how that discussion went. Let me try to do some John Boy lip reading real quick. That's probably what they were saying, something like that. Yeah, they both got pretty heated over this one. I don't know, man, getting in a screaming match like that, you have to sleep like a baby that night. And even 8 years later, he didn't slow down. In this Seattle-Cleveland game in 1998, he gets thrown out for arguing a call that, to be fair, was a bad call. They called him out for running out of the baseline, but like, he didn't even touch the grass, like, come on. And the thing is, Lou didn't even know he got thrown out, so he heads back to the dugout, and once he finds out, he gets his money's worth. In the middle of this argument, he launches his hat at the ground, and then starts kicking it around the field. For like 2 minutes.
5 kicks, 6 kicks, 7, until he navigates back into the dirt.
And by far the best part about this is that every time he kicks it, the crowd goes nuts.
Again, and again. Lou's going to kick the hat all the way into the dugout.
I love baseball fans. Most of them. Going back to the base abuse we talked about earlier, this isn't the only time it's happened. And every time it does happen, you'll most likely hear one of the commentators mention something about Lou Piniella. And that applies to the next one we're going to talk about. The beginning of this one almost follows the same script as the Lou Piniella one. After a close call at first, Pirates manager Lloyd McClendon gets ejected after saying what he wants to say to the umpire. But where it goes off script is what he does next. Instead of picking up the base and throwing it, he just picks it up and takes it. He walks it all the way to the dugout, tosses it down the stairs, hands off his lineup card, and then just leaves. And after he's gone, one of the guys grabs his hat off the field and tosses it down on the base, and then the camera pans in for one of the most poetic shots I've ever seen. Like, look at this. You could turn this into a poster. Also, I feel kind of bad for this grounds crew guy. As soon as he comes out with another base to replace it, everyone in the crowd just starts booing him.
Back. And jog toward first base and put it back in there.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we have officially made it to the Angel Hernandez section of the video. Let's go.
That pitch called a strike. Wow.
It's a funny ejections video. Of course there's going to be an Angel Hernandez clip. Are you kidding me? In this game between the Mets and the Nationals, Asdrubal Cabrera is a little mad at Angel for not granting him a timeout in the pitch before this. So when he smacks the next pitch for a single, he stares down Angel a little bit on the way to first. And don't you worry, baby, it only gets more petty from here. As Angel Hernandez is watching Cabrera go to first, he's getting ready to throw him out of the game. You can see him cock his hand back and turn his shoulder like he's about to throw him out, but he holds off because he's waiting for Cabrera to turn around and look at him. How often do you see a guy get thrown out after they just hit a single, let alone see the umpire wait for the guy to turn around and look at him before they toss him out? And the pettiness doesn't even end there. Because this field doesn't have an exit near the dugout he's in, he has to walk all the way across the field to leave, and he takes his time doing it. And this all happened during a spring training game. Like, what? Also, in the post-game interview, this is what he had to say about walking across the entire field.
You took a nice walk there, huh?
I have to take my time. Why? He threw me out, so there's nothing I can do. You have to cross the field to come out.
A weird full circle moment for me is that in my last video about ejections, I talked about a Tim Cheetah one. And this next one also has to do with Tim Cheetah. So time is a circle. In August of 2012, umpire Tim Cheetah ejected Dodgers outfielder Matt Kemp and their manager Don Mattingly. On the surface, it seems like a pretty straightforward ejection. Besides just a bit of pushing and yelling, it's pretty standard. However, this did lead to one of the most iconic ejection gifs of all time. Right here, you can see Cheetah say boom and then get a running start to throw out Mattingly. I've actually seen a few pretty funny edits of this gif. I'll throw them on screen if I can find them. I don't know what Mattingly said to him, but it must have been his code phrase that just activated him like a sleeper agent. Alright, so all of these ejections have happened during a game. In my last video, I mentioned one where a guy got ejected after the game had just ended. So I wonder, is it possible to get ejected before the game even starts? Yes it is. Before this game even actually started, Coach Mark Parent was taking out the lineup card to the umpires when he got in a bit of an argument with him over something. And he must have said something the ump didn't like, so he tossed him out of the game. So yeah, apparently you can get thrown out of a game that hasn't even started. Quick context for this next one for those that don't know, but if a batter hits a ball and it comes in contact with him at all, say it like hits his leg or his foot or his arm or something, then the ball is considered dead and the play ends there. So when this ball clearly hits Jose Altuve's foot and it's ruled fair so he gets thrown out at first, he's pretty mad about it. Especially when you mix in the fact that the home plate umpire didn't even check with any of the other umps on this one. So Altuve decides to handle this situation in the weirdest way he possibly could have. He takes off the sock and shoe that's on the foot that got hit and shows it to the umpire. I think he's trying to show the umpire like a mark where he got hit or something, but either way, the ump just says, nah, I don't want to see your dirty feet, and tosses him. So Altuve accepts his fate and just limps his way back to the dugout. There's a few different ways that coaches will react to umpires just having a bad eye behind the dish that I'll show in this video. So let's see how Brad Ausmus decided to handle this situation. After a strike call comes through that he didn't really agree with, he shouts something from the dugout and guess what? Gets tossed. So he decided, well, if you can't see the plate anyways, let's just get rid of that real quick. He literally just takes off his jacket and covers the plate with it as a form of protest. I guess his theory must have been, well, if the ump can't see the plate at all, then at least he has an excuse. Alright, this next one is just, this one feels so good. If you've ever watched a game and there was just a really bad home plate umpire, then you've definitely felt what Brennan Metzger is feeling here. After getting rung up on a called third strike that looked like it was probably outside, Brennan starts arguing with the umpire, of course, and gets tossed. And what he does next is iconic. He goes back to the dugout, grabs a trash can, puts it behind the home plate, and then says,
He put the garbage can behind home plate. And the crowd is saying, we hear you, Brennan.
This clip got so much attention that even the local news, WCNC, picked up on it. Calling the umpire trash with a literal trash can is just, magnifique. I want to ask a question real quick before I show you this next one. Have you ever seen an old guy move like this? This is Tigers manager Jim Leland, and he's arguing a call that was made at first. The reason he's arguing is because the original call that was made by the umpire, who was staring at first base right next to it, originally called him safe. Now when you look at the replay, he was for sure out, but he's more mad at the fact that it originally was safe and he had to talk to the home plate umpire to make the out call. Let's take a look at the part of the clip that actually got him thrown out though.
Right there, 5 feet away, called him safe. This is as animated as I've seen the skipper. And there he goes.
Like a full-blown game of charades, he runs through the entire play to show the umpire that this is bullshit. He then continues to argue with the umpire for another like full 3 minutes. This has got to be like the creme de la creme of getting your money's worth. And of course, on the way out, the crowd gives him a standing ovation. Oh, and don't worry, he made sure to let the home plate umpire know how he felt on his way out too. And since we're already talking about miming, I mean, we gotta throw in the Aaron Boone one. After his player gets called out on a third strike looking, he's mad. Like, yeah, it was close, but I mean, it was a strike. And it's Aaron Boone, so I mean, of course he got tossed. The recommended video right next to this one when I was researching is a top 10 Aaron Boone's ejections. And to really get his money's worth, he heads to the plate and mimics the umpire calling the third strike after pointing out where the ball was. This creates an absolutely iconic ejection clip, and just the face he makes when he does the strike call. I'm sorry, but this will never not be funny. In a lot of these clips so far, I've mentioned how the crowd reacts, and this is the first one where the person thrown out intentionally tries to get the crowd to go crazy. The home plate umpire for this East Carolina versus Coastal Carolina game has not been the best. And East Carolina's coach Cliff Godwin says enough is enough. He heads out to give the home plate ump a stern talking to and gets tossed, obviously. And he uses this moment to hype up the crowd to let this ump know that he can't keep doing what he's doing. And it definitely worked. I mean, look at some of these crowd reactions. It's so funny to me to use getting tossed out as a way to hype the crowd up and get them to just keep dumping on the umpire. Up next is yet another argument about bad strike calls, and this one, yeah, this one's bad. This ump's been calling these low strikes all day. Like, dude, look at that. That ball's so in the dirt, if you try to dig for it, you'd probably find oil first. Just, if you do find oil, don't let the US government know about it. But don't you worry about a thing. Our hero Davey Martinez is coming in hot. After getting tossed, he's gonna show this umpire where that ball is and why it shouldn't be a strike. He walks up to the plate and says, all right, let me just brush this off real quick. Okay, so this is where the ball's coming in and you're calling that a strike? And honestly, I can't say I disagree. These are some bad calls. You can even hear him telling the ump about the replay, saying, wait till you see it. I'm with you on this one, Davey, 100%. And now, ladies and gentlemen, as always, I have saved the best for last. This is minor league Braves manager Phil Wellman. And when I tell you he holds the title for the freakout to end all freakouts, believe me, he does. There's a lot to break down with this one, so let's just start with his initial reaction. After initially being tossed, he heads over to home plate, completely covers it in dirt, and then draws a brand new, much larger home plate in its place. He then grabs third base, walks towards second, and flings it towards the outfield. And don't you worry, because he's not done yet. His next move is to army crawl towards the pitcher's mound, grab the chalk bag, and then throw it like a grenade towards the umpire. After this little detour, he walks back towards second, picks up second, and then goes back to the outfield and picks up the third base as well and just starts walking away with them. And as he's leaving through the outfield, he turns towards the crowd, blows them a kiss, and bids them a good night. A perfect ending to this legendary freakout. And with that, I'd like to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. As always, if you like this video, consider subbing to the channel and dropping a like and a comment. You know, you can comment whatever, it just helps with the algorithm. Anyways, have a lovely day, gamers. Peace.